Jackson Radio Show.
Police desperately need. Senator Cruz, you want to respond?
You know, I do. It's interesting. In his opening, Bernie invoked Robin Hood. And I got to say, I think Bernie fundamentally misunderstood that story. Robin Hood was robbing the tax collectors who were collecting too much taxes from the working men and women and taking it for the rich. In Bernie's analogy, it is the Democrats who are King John and the Sheriff of Nottingham. And Robin Hood is saying, tax collectors, stop hammering people who are struggling, who are laboring in the fields, who are working. Stop taking it to the castle to give out to your buddies. You notice Bernie's going to tell you all this free stuff he's going to give. And the Democrats love corporate welfare. They love to rail on the insurance companies. What they won't tell you is that under Obamacare, the profits for the insurance companies doubled. When you have Washington giving out goodies, the big guys do great. It's the little people who hurt. It's the young people. It's the entrepreneurs. Look, when my dad came to America from Cuba, he couldn't speak English. He was washing dishes. He was making 50 cents an hour. Our economy has been the place where people can come and do that. And it doesn't work. You notice, Bernie didn't disagree with what I said, that the gap between rich and poor has increased more under Obama than any president in history.
Welcome back, everybody. Kevin Jackson here. Ted Cruz is so right that Bernie Sanders and the left, you know, they've made Robin Hood this character that robbed from the rich and gave to the poor. And he set the record straight. It's kind of like Uncle Tom. When people, you're an Uncle Tom. And I go, you do realize he was the good guy in the book, right? And it's funny to me that these people constantly, leftists, constantly get things wrong. And they don't even bother to go, you know, don't be calling people Uncle Tom because he was the good guy. They don't correct it. It's just revisionist history. Now, and Uncle Tom, when people call me an Uncle Tom, I go, yeah, I'm an Uncle Tom. And the folks that do it, they're like, what? He accepts it. I do. I accept it. Now, I dare you to go read the book. And what's funny, the people that call me that, I immediately go, okay, you're just the typical dummy that doesn't understand who Uncle Tom was. Or you never call me that. If you want to be derogatory, you wouldn't call me Uncle Tom. It's crazy. And so here's Ted Cruz saying, Bernie's talking about Robin Hood. Robin Hood was a good guy, not because he robbed from the rich, because he robbed from the government's tax collectors. And he gave the money that they had already taken, extorted from the people back to the people. That's what made him good. Robin Hood wasn't going around saying, oh, hey, you, Mr. Farmer, you have more money than everybody else. I'm going to rob from you and go distribute your money. He didn't say that. He wouldn't have done it. But we don't. Who's corrected the record on this story? Ted Cruz finally did. Good for him. Makes him a viable candidate to move forward, you know, other than he's got some other issues. But I'm glad he corrected the record. What I want to talk about, I was going to write this piece, and it was around the stock market and around the economy. And what I was going to say to you guys is put your money in the market, because Donald Trump's going to smash the stock market. Now, the market at the time was like 22,900 and change. And as I started to write it, I said, I'll give it a few days. It won't be that, you know, it'll just linger here for a bit. It'll creep up 20 points here or there. I didn't think it was going to crash through the 23,000 barrier. But the day that I plan on writing it, the very next day, I looked at the ticker. It was 23,168. And I went, crap, because I wanted to write this piece before it hit 23,000. Because you guys may not remember, it was a big deal when we hit 21. Then it was 22. Now it's 23. And it had crashed through. It didn't 23,005 and then back down, you know, like come over and then back retract. It stayed solidly at 23. So I said, okay, you know, it's happened. Let's, you know, write about it soon, because, you know, it's going to keep going. The next day, the market was 23,323 when I saw it. And I was like, you've got to be kidding. It's up another 160 points or whatever the number was. And I was like, oh. So now suddenly the post isn't even relevant other than I was going to give a reason why the stock market is going to rise and continue to rise. That's what I was doing. I wanted to mock the left by reminding them of their predictions of economic doom and gloom had Trump gotten elected. And I was going to predict that the market would continue to rise. And I thought I had a week or so to work with. So getting distracted means that I missed the 53rd record-setting report of the stock market under Donald Trump. And it's funny that if we were having this discussion about Barack Obama, and Barack Obama artificially pumped the money into the economy, $1 trillion a year, which took the stock market from wherever it was when Bush left to records for Obama. But look at the number of records that Obama had over the 8-year period. I don't know what it is. And look at the number of records that Trump has had in less than a year. 53 stock market records. Now, the Obama rarely touted the stock market. He rarely did. He did at the end because it was all he had left. Because he couldn't tout it. He was pumping $1 trillion of worthless paper into the economy in order to, quote, save it, while he was doing long-term damage. And so he knew that it really wasn't the market driving up. It was the fact that he had increased inflation. And so, therefore, companies' profits sort of rose with it because they were getting more money for their products, yada, yada, yada. So it was cyclical in the sense of what he did. With Trump, it's not like that. With Trump, there's still some of that. There's a lingering effect. But the real stock market is based on exuberance. It's based on business leaders going, we feel good. And it's based on sales rising. This is a true bullish market. Now, it's going to correct. And what the left is hoping, and this is what I believe they may be setting us up. They may be trying to wait till we get to election time and then start pulling out their money. But I predict they won't. Yeah, I predict they won't. Donald Trump has charted an economic course. He willed the economic turnaround that we're now experiencing, and he set a path to make that happen. And CNN, they took the bait. They began discussing what now and forevermore will be called the Trump effect. And it was funny when you listen to the interviews, they're like, well, with Donald Trump, maybe that he'll do this or that because we're not really sure what the impact of Donald Trump is real on the economy. And I'm going, really? When Donald Trump was president-elect, businesses said, because Trump got elected, we are going to start making moves. And there were many of the CEOs that said, here's why we're doing what we're doing. Chairman Ma of SoftBank, many others said the reason why we're doing what we're doing is because of Donald Trump. They could not deny the Trump effect. And Donald Trump when I say he willed the economy, I mean he verbalized, we will turn this around. Here's how I'm going to do it. And he set the course to doing it, put out enough feelers into the business community, and these guys went, you know what? We believe him. And at president-elect, folks, this started, and you're just seeing the beginning of it, and your stock market is giving you an indicator. I don't put a lot into the stock market in the sense that it ebbs and flows, and I don't want it to be used against us later. But the stock market is going up and doing what it's doing for a reason, and it definitely has to do with the Trump effect. Trump set the tone for the new America, and the business leaders felt it. And his market sets real records, teamed with practically overemployment and an economic engine that's not just humming, it's roaring. The media shouldn't be discussing the fictitious Russia investigation, and they should be talking about this. Everybody working, pursuing happiness. You would think the media could at least take a 2-week vacation from Trump bashing just to recover, but they haven't and they won't. They hate President Trump, but they love money, and that's why the stock market is safe. And President Trump continually taunts him. He reminds him of his cabinet's competence. In a video, he discussed bringing in a former Goldman Sachs executive who took a huge pay cut in order to help the economy. And it was bold of him to rub the man's wealth and experience in the face of the left. He said things like, well, you got to look at this guy. He took a huge pay cut. Look at the pay cut. Donald Trump takes no salary. I don't even know how many. I wonder how many of Donald Trump's cabinet members don't even take salaries. Have we looked at that? We should look at that. I bet you a bunch of them don't. He's saying these are accomplished guys that want to do something right. And look at what's happening, folks, when you get accomplished people who want to do the right thing. Suddenly, your market's doing well. And ironically, gold is holding its own. Even gold is still holding steady, and it normally contracts when the stock market does this well. I'll have to explain it another time.
Kevin Jackson
on the Black Sphere Radio Network.
Do you owe back taxes to the IRS or state? The secret to avoiding the IRS nightmare is to seek professional representation. My friends at Security Tax Associates provide the most cost-effective and ethical representation in the industry while helping to avoid seizures, levies, and wage garnishments. Security Tax Associates is here to ensure that the appropriate steps are taken to permanently eliminate any possibility of future tax burdens once and for all. For a free, no-obligation consultation, contact Security Tax Associates, 844-779-4177. That's 844-779-4177. 844-779-4177. Or visit them at securitytaxassociates.com.